Today's webinar is on gift cards, gift certificates, and store credits. And I'm going to start out with a little explanation because sometimes people think about coupons as well, and coupons are different. The three things that we're going to talk about today would all be entered into the payment section of the invoice screen. So a gift certificate, gift card, or store credit all has to do with financial money that people have given to you. You could be holding it in trust for them. It's a liability, and you have received the money already. Whereas a coupon is entered into the top portion in the line items entry section. And that's because it's a discount that you are giving to someone off the product or the service that you have. So it is not a payment. So it stays in the top portion. The three things we're covering today are all things you're going to see down in the tender or the payment section on the invoice. So that was just a brief explanation of why those things are different. So we're going to go right back into Frame Ready now. And the other thing that I've added in today is the barcode scanner, because if you're going to be using some of these items, the barcode scanner might be helpful for you. You can purchase one at any of the stores. This one is a USB plug-in. You just plug it into the computer, it goes beep beep, and it's up and running. And that's all you need to do to use the barcode scanner. So let's go back into Frame Ready and take a look at how this all works. The first thing that we're going to look at is the gift certificates. And the gift certificate section is at the bottom of the standard Frame Ready screen. It has a little icon here that you can go to, and if we click on that icon, it's going to take us directly to the gift certificate file. The gift certificate file has the ability to store not only the gift card, the gift certificate, but also store credit. So all three of them are being used in this exact same file. It'll give you the serial numbering, and it would generate the serial numbering automatically for the gift certificate. And the gift card, of course, is on the back of the card. So we're going to start out with the gift certificate. Let's go back to the main menu. This is the gift of a new customer coming in. If somebody came in and wanted to issue or have a gift certificate to give away to someone else, all you need to do is click on the button that says New Gift Certificate. It's going to automatically generate a new record for you with the next serial number in the field automatically. It's identified the category as gift certificate, the date issue. Your job then is to find out the wording that they want to put on here. So if this is going to be to Mary from, and I'm going to say Peter, oops. Yeah, I'll just say Peter. And then in the byline section, we have a whole selection of things that are in here already. If you want to change them, you can go down to the bottom and click on the word edit. If you want to customize this list, if you wanted it to be in alphabetical order, you could do that. Just simply highlight the item that you want to move, click on it, and drag it up to that open space that you've created. If you wanted to add additional hyphens in there, these will create separation lines that maybe these are all the calendar events, and these are other events that are talked to people's lives that you want to highlight. But once you've done that, when you click on the OK button, you'll see that those changes have taken effect on your listing. And we can choose any of these on the list. So I'm just going to say happy birthday. And now the other thing that we want to enter in is the dollar value. So how much is the value of this gift certificate? So let's put a dollar value in there on the gift certificate. And the next thing that you want to do is you want to show the person your choices. There are three different choices that you have. If you click on the Show Choices button on the left-hand side of the screen, you will see the different printouts that you can create with Frame Ready. This is what you can print. Now, I do want to let you know that if you notice that perhaps the style doesn't look quite right on this screen, sometimes people have a very short logo, sometimes you have a really long, narrow logo. If you do need to adjust the layout, let us know. But the tip is over on the right-hand side, if you click on the Print button, you may notice that it does print out correctly. It's just the pre-display that it's a little garbled or may not look the way you want it to look. Okay, and the barcode is printed up in the top right-hand corner on this one. And I'm going to just click OK, and I'm going to cancel the print job because I also want to go back and show you that there are other options on here as well. So when we go back here, there are 3 different styles. You can also print out in Spanish or en français. And this is designed so that the person that you're giving the card to may not speak English. So you have 2 other choices here. And if I was going to go to the en français for this one, you will see that the words gift certificate and the footnote are in French, and the to and the from are in French. However, anything that you have typed in, if you want it to be in Spanish or French, you need to type that in or ask the person how they want it spelled, and then you can type in whatever message you want. So you can do that and then print it out. And the other nice little tip for that is that if you print this out onto some fancy paper, perhaps some, rice paper or parchment paper, it just gives it a nicer look for the gift certificate. And then you'll need to cut it to the size and give it to the customer. Now, let's go back to printing these out. If you do decide that you wanted to print out any of the other ones, the Spanish one, you'll notice that it still does say to or from, and your footnote at the bottom is going to be the same in English because it doesn't translate. That is something that you have typed in. And I'm going to click cancel, and let's just go take a look at the other ways to print that out. On the left-hand side of the screen, there's also the print modern, so that if you know that this is the layout that looks best with your logo, and you don't even need to give the customer a choice, then you can simply go and click on the print traditional or print modern, whichever one you want, and that's the one that will be printed for the customer. So you can give them the choice if you want. Otherwise, if you do know that this is the one that looks best for your logo, stay with that one then. Okay, if we go up to the top left corner of the screen, of course, we want to know who is going to be giving this. And since it's from Peter, so I'm going to look up Peter and his last name, and there he is, and I've entered that information in. Now, because this customer is purchasing this item from you, of course, we want to post this to an invoice because they are going to pay you for this. Now, if Peter had purchased multiple gift certificates, I know that's one of the questions, can all of them go onto one invoice? And the answer is no, unfortunately. So that might be something that we can look at in the future. In the meantime, we're going to click on Post to Invoice, and it's going to create a single invoice for us with that gift certificate. If they're purchasing other items, we can add it to this same invoice, and that would be fine. So perhaps he's going to purchase a vase as well, and we can put that onto the invoice. And now those 2 items are on there, and when we go down to the bottom left corner, we are going to take a payment, and however he's going to pay for that. If you want to put the authorization number in there, you can. Do not enter any credit card information in this field. It is not a secured field, so do not do that. Okay, over on the right-hand side, we can say done, go to form view, or you could done, print out the invoice for him, whichever one you like. I'm just going to say done, go to form view because that's the most expedient. And we are back on the invoice. So we have created an invoice, printed it out, given it to Peter, and he's taken it away. Now, one of the other things that you may want to do with that is to give him an envelope. I've heard other great ideas where people say they frame them. They've got little scrap pieces of frames left over, so they put the gift certificate into a frame to give to the person. And that was a great idea that someone had shared with us. So we've gone ahead and we've created the gift certificate. Now the question is, when the person comes back to redeem it, this is the new customer that's going to be coming in. And what I want to do is go back to the main menu, because you may not know in advance that they have a gift certificate. They may tell you at the time that they're making their payment. So I'm going to go back and we're going to create a brand new invoice. So we'll just say new invoice. And we're going to select something that the customer is going to purchase, and we'll add that on. And we'll pick the funky vase this time. And if you enter the customer information in advance, that's great. You could do it after they've paid for it, and that's all right too. The advantage of putting the customer's information in now is that if they were a customer who received a discount automatically, it would put it on there for you. Or if they have a store credit, then it would add that in at the time. So it's always a nice idea to put the customer's information in ahead of time. So this is going to be Mary Verde, and we're going to find out she's a new customer. So we're going to click yes, because a gift certificate is usually given to a new customer. So that's awesome. So I'm going to ask her, how did you hear about us? And she's going to say she got a gift certificate. I may ask her who she got that gift certificate from. And I'm going to click on the recommended by, because when she says it was from her uncle, Peter Verde, I'm going to select that name from the drop-down list. And I started typing VER to get down to this section. And when I click on that, it's now letting me know that he gave the referral of this customer, and it's going to be on her record in the contacts file. Okay, of course, you're going to want to get the information for her phone and her email address as well. Any other things that you need to know about her that you might want to mark off, that she would like to receive your newsletter, or she's a member of a certain club that you want to identify. Okay, we're going to click done, and all that information has gone back in. Now we're going to go down to the bottom left-hand section, and we're going to redeem that gift certificate. So I'm going to click on enter a payment. The tender is going to be gift certificate. You do need to select gift certificate for this, and then either scan in that number because it's barcoded on that piece of paper, or type it in to the reference number, and that's what's going to link it up to the gift certificate that is being used. So now I'm going to click done. Okay, and it's going to tell me that the gift certificate was for $100 and it's being used. Now it does say store credit, okay, because it's using part of that script there. We might be able to change that to identify whether it's a gift card, a gift certificate, or store credit. But don't be alarmed if it says store credit. It's the value of $100. The balance is $170.82, and that needs to be tendered by some other means. So I'm going to click OK. And now it's showing me that that gift certificate is in there. They've used up the full $100, and now they're going to use a different method of payment to pay for the balance. And then we'll say done, go to form view, and that is finished. I can print that out and give it to her, and she has made her purchase. Now, if I go back to the gift certificate file and I look at that gift certificate, you can see that it says redeemed, and there's the date that it was redeemed. So it comes full circle, tracking which gift certificates are still outstanding and which ones are still in here. And if you wanted to see which ones are still outstanding, you could go back in and to the list view. And when you click on list view, you're going to click on unredeemed. And this will show you every single one that is still outstanding and the dollar value down at the bottom of the screen. The other thing that you can do is use the find button at the top of the screen to say, I only want to see the ones that have not been redeemed that are in the category of gift certificates. So I want to know how many gift certificates are outstanding that have not been redeemed. And there's the list and the total value of all the gift certificates that are out there. So that's a great way of being able to know what is still outstanding and what still has to come in. Okay, so there we have editing the item. Now I'm going to go back to that invoice and show you there is something that you should be aware of. If while I'm on this invoice has been paid, I'm going to continue. If while I'm on the invoice and I have taken a payment from Mary and I realized that I wanted to put in the authorization number, but I forgot to, and I'm going to go and I'm going to click on the edit button for that, but I make a mistake and I actually click on the edit button for the gift certificate. So I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to do that because that's going to erase the gift certificate. Don't be alarmed, we can fix that, but if you do happen to do this, mistakes happen, and I clicked on this instead, okay, and then I say, oh dear, I don't want to do that, I'm going to click done. It's going to give me a message saying this has already been redeemed, please select another form of payment, because it thinks that you want to do this again. Or even if I clicked cancel, it's still going to do that, and it's going to remove that. So in order for me to put that gift certificate back in, I need to go and mark it as unredeemed. So I'm going to go back to the gift certificate file. So this is how to correct that if it happens. And I'm going to find that gift certificate number. Okay, and there it is. And it says, yes, it has been redeemed. I'm going to say, no, it hasn't. And I'm going to remove the date. So I'm going to set it back as if it had not been redeemed. And now I can go back to the invoice and I can click on the purple data entry button. And then I'm going to click on the payment, enter a payment button, gift certificate, scan that number back in again, and then click done. Okay, so it puts the gift certificate back in. So, and that's why you would have the gift certificate in your hand, because they would hand in the gift certificate. So you'll still have that number. You can use the barcode on it or type in the number to find that gift certificate. So let's go take a look at the things that are affecting the gift certificate. Let's go back to the main menu, because we have the logo that appears on the gift certificate. To make sure your logo is appearing on the gift certificate, let's go up to the Setup Data button in the top right corner, and we're going to click on Logo. And this is where you would put your logo in here. You can click on the Add button and then find the logo. If your logo already has the address and phone number and information on it, then you can uncheck that box. Otherwise, it's going to put your business address information that's under the Info tab, and it's going to add that into it. If you don't have a logo, it's just going to use your business name. Either one is good. A logo is good for marketing simply because it gets your brand out there. Let's click done. The other thing to look at are the footnotes. If we go back into the setup data, we're going to click on footnotes. And just to the left here, you'll see that down on the left-hand side, the second item down is where the gift certificate footnote appears. And you do have the amount of space that's in this box that you could type in the information and have it appear on each of the gift certificate styles. Either one, any of them is great. I'm going to click on done, and we're going to go back to the main menu, because the other thing that you could do is that if you wanted to print out an envelope to give to the customer with your logo on it and your business information, you can click on print envelope, and this would just be a single envelope. And if it isn't for any particular customer, I'm just going to say new, and then what happens is I can select the size of the envelope. Okay, I don't need to sort them out. There we go. And then it's going to show me the envelope, how it would appear, and then I can print it out. So automatically. Now, I'm not sure why it put my customer information in, because I'm pretty sure I selected it to say, no, I don't need a customer in there. But it may have been because I had that customer up, because I was working with this earlier to say print the envelope, and I can print out a blank envelope if you want to. Of course, most of you already probably do have envelopes with your logos printed on them, so that you don't need to use that if you don't want to. Okay. Yeah, and just also as a tip, if you are wanting to hand out some promotional things, that might be a time when you use the coupons rather than gift certificates, rather than handing out gift certificates. I do know someone who chose to do that. They handed out gift certificates to some workers that were working out in front, and you could create new ones for them. It's just remembering that you are paying for that, not somebody else coming in and paying for that. Most times, though, if you're giving something away, it's a coupon. So Chrissy, we're at a point where we can take a break and answer some of the polls that you have on there. You want to go ahead and do that?
Bear with me, my internet is touch and go. We'll see if I can get through it.
Okay.
So I'm going to launch the first poll. Which of these three have you used? Gift certificates, gift cards, or store credits? And while we're doing the poll, I'd like to let you know one of our questions we have.
Okay.
Often I'm asked to supply a gift certificate to be used as a giveaway. There is no cash passing, so it may be a coupon in that case. But I want to provide a gift certificate with a serial number. What would be the best workaround for this?
Right. In that case, then you do want to create a gift certificate. Don't create an invoice for it, though. So go ahead and create the gift certificate, and just know that it's something that you're issuing from the store. You are the person who's paying for it technically, but you don't need to create an invoice for it in that case. And you're right, the tracking is great. Ah, excellent. Okay. A lot of people using gift certificates already, and we're going to be going into the gift card section next, showing you that part. Oh, thank you, Chrissy.
Yep, thank you. That's all the questions I have.
Okay, and while we're here, you have a gift card that I asked you to keep on hand because it's got some interesting things on the back of it. So if you wouldn't mind showing that gift card, holding it up to the camera.
Yep, this is for a local business here in Petrolia. It's for Black Gold. And
yeah, so it's interesting. So they have a square code, they have the barcode, and they have the swipe. So it's great. You can get any of those printed onto the back of your gift card. So now, even though they do have the gift card with all of those on them, I'm just going to let you know that FrameReady uses the barcode on the back of your gift card. So we're going to go and start looking at the gift card section now. I'm going to go back into FrameReady. And when we're creating a gift card, there down at the bottom section of the screen is where you would click on that to start the sale of the gift card. Now the gift cards are lots of different logos. You can have them pre-printed on the front so that it would have your information from your store on the front, and then have the barcode on the back of the gift card. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to click on Sell Update Gift Card. And from experience, I know that if I type the number in, that's fine. But when I use the barcode scanner, it automatically uses the enter key afterwards, because that's the way I've got it programmed and that's what I want it to do. But then it actually clicks the OK button. So in this case, I need to enter in the value of the gift card first. So I'm doing that first. Then I'm going to use the gift card and scan using the barcode scanners, scan it in. And I've also found that some barcodes read better than others. So I chose the one that worked better for me. Some of them had a really shiny surface on the back of them and they didn't read as well. So now that the gift card has been entered in, I'm going to go down and take a payment. And I want to select how they're going to pay for this, and I'll say done. And if this is the person who's purchasing it, sometimes it is nice to identify who it is that is purchasing it. So I'm just going to put a customer in there. And now I'm going to click done. And the gift card is all set up. If I go to the gift certificate file, because that's our gift file, and click on that, you will see that at the very bottom of this, we have the gift card that has been entered in. And it is issued to walk-in because we don't know who is actually using that gift card. The invoice shows the person who purchased the gift card, but this gift card is not assigned necessarily to anyone, because even if you do assign it to somebody, they could give it to somebody else and say, hey, you know what, I got something framed here, let me give it to you as well. So we've entered it in. Let's go and also take a look at how you can redeem the gift card. So the person is going to come in who's using that card, and we're going to create a new invoice for them. And they're going to purchase something, and we'll just stick with our small item here. And now if I do want to put their name in there, and again, it may be another new person who has come in, and this could be Gloria Taylor, there we go, who's related to Jim Taylor, okay, new customer. And again, if it is a new customer coming in, I'm going to ask them, how did you hear about us? Typing in the first few letters of the last name, then I'm going to scroll down, select that person, enter in the rest of the information, and click done. Then I'm going to go down to the enter a payment section. And this is where I'm going to select that this is a gift card that is being used. I'm going to use that gift card and scan it in using the barcode scanner to scan it. Okay, it enters the number in. I can click done, go to form view, and it says a credit of $3.13 is still available on this card. And I'm going to say okay. So now I've got a card out there. This person knows how much they have outstanding on their card. They've made their purchase. I give them the invoice. If I go back to the gift certificate file, it knows that this is the balance that is owed on the card. Over on the right-hand side, you can see where the original amount that they put in there is entered in. And then each time that they purchase the card, it's added to the card. The other thing that we can do is that we can top up the card so that if the Jim Taylor came in and said, hey, I noticed my niece bought something, she would like to add something to that, I want to add to that card, then you can. We can go back to the main menu, or if this person's going to top it up and give it to somebody else, then we could update the gift card here. And I can type in that it's going to be another $50 that's going to be added onto this card. Again, use the barcode scanner to scan the card and who is going to be paying for this. And at this point in time, I'm just going to take a payment. No, there we go. And now we're going to go back to the gift card file and we'll be able to see that it has been topped up and there is another $50 that's been added to this gift card. There's also a section down here at the bottom where you can add credit or remove credit. If somebody had a gift card and maybe you want to give them some extra credit because they had to wait extra long for the frame to be finished, or for any reason that you need to, you could top up their gift card. And if I go to, I'm going to find one because I did put that onto one of them. Well, these gift cards here, and that's the one that I thought was difficult to scan earlier. But you can see where I've added in and did a manual override. So this is what it's going to look like when you use the add credit and remove credit. So I added $50 in and then I removed it. So it continues to keep track of the credit that's been added on there. Okay. So each time that we do something, that's the other thing to mention, that each time that we do something with the gift card, if it's added onto an invoice or taken off of an invoice, then you're going to see a tracking here so that we know exactly what's happened to it. It's going to be a continuous log there that's going to be added in. Okay, let's go down to tips as well. If a customer is buying, oh, that's a good tip. If a customer is purchasing a gift card, in addition to several other items, it's always best to do the gift card first, because once that gift card is done, it automatically creates the invoice so that if they are purchasing other items, then you want to add that onto the existing invoice that you have, rather than ringing up those items and then trying to sell the gift card, because it's going to create a new invoice for the gift card. And as I said before, you can't simply type in the gift certificate and then the number, or the gift card and the number, and have it create the invoice after the fact. So you do need to go through that special section in the front using the sell or update gift card in order to process the sale of the gift card. Okay. The other tip is never mark the gift card as being redeemed, because gift cards can always be topped up. So that means that it's always available for the customer to be able to use that gift card. And Chrissy, I know, so that was a quick run through the section for the gift cards. I believe we have another poll that we can ask at this point.
We do. 1 second.
Okay.
Which of the following do you have? A barcode scanner, graphic of logo and frame ready, fancy paper like rice paper for gift certificates, pre-printed business envelopes, or plastic barcoded gift cards? Pretty quiet today.
Yes. Yeah, and I was just going to say also, another great tip on the gift cards is using them as promotional items, that if you wanted to give out a gift card, so maybe this was your best customer, it was a thank you, you could preload that gift card and give that out. And again, it will create that invoice for you. Of course, you're the purchaser of that product, so you may need to say that you paid for it. There we go, barcode scanner, great. So you're all set up for scanning, graphic logo, great, fancy paper. Okay, excellent. All right, thank you, Chrissy, for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go back into Frame Ready. Now, we're gonna take a look at store credits. And store credit is a great way of being able to say to someone, rather than giving you a refund on your Visa or your MasterCard or your check or your cash is to hold that money in trust for them until they come back. So they are going to be spending it in your shop. So in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to have somebody who's decided that they didn't want to purchase something perhaps, and you're going to give them a refund. So I'm going to go back to the invoice file, and I know that we had a person in here just recently who purchased a vase, and we may be saying that they don't want to keep it any longer. So we're going to go in here, and this person purchased this funky vase, and they used the gift certificate. They paid for the rest of it by Visa. So they've decided that they wanted to return it, and they don't want it anymore. So the two things that I need to know is who the customer is and what is the item that they are returning. So I'm going to create a new invoice for them. And this is for the item of the funky, it's going to go down to the description field. And it's automatically found that item. And this is really important that it is a -1. It is returning this item into inventory because I've put it in as a -1 now. The other thing I need to know is who is the customer who is asking for the refund. And of course, it depends on your refund policy, but maybe they got it home and it was too big, it was too large, for whatever reason they are returning it. Down here at the bottom of the screen, this is where I'm going to enter in a payment. And when I do that, I'm not using any of the things at the top because this is how they paid for it initially. I'm moving down my list, and I've used that hyphen to separate these items to say that this is a refund. And rather than giving them a refund on the method of payment, I'm giving them a store credit, meaning that I will hold this in trust for them until they come back and purchase something else from my business. So I don't need to enter a reference number in or anything else. All I need to do is say done. And it's going to tell me that store credit of $270.82 is going to be issued for this refund. When I click OK, it's going to allow me to print it out. If you have a receipt printer, you can print this onto a receipt, or you can just use a regular full sheet of paper. If you do want to give it to the customer, there's the ability that you have to say authorized by, and you can sign it, put your initials in. It just gives them the date, the amount, and who authorized this, and who it's been issued to. Now, they don't need to have this piece of paper. It will stay in your computer. If they lose it, don't worry about it. It's still documented. And you don't have to remember it either, because FrameReady is going to remember it. So now that I've issued this refund to the person, I can go back to Mary's record and see that refund. If I go into the contacts file under credits, you'll see that she has a store credit. It has not been redeemed, and there it's showing me that it has not been redeemed. It's unredeemed. There's the amount. I can also go to the gift certificate file because it's going to show up in there as well. Find all, last record, and there's the store credit that was issued to Mary. So she has this total amount in there as a credit. The next time that she comes in to purchase something, what will happen is that that's going to come up automatically. So if I click on the main menu, and let's say that Mary's going to come back in, so this is how we are going to redeem that store credit. We're going to click on a new invoice, and she's going to purchase the other vase because it's shorter, it's smaller. Maybe she came back, it doesn't matter when she came back. It's going to keep track of it. But I do need to enter her name in as the customer. So once I entered her name in as the customer, that's how it's going to know that she has a credit outstanding. When I click on the button for enter a payment, it's going to automatically come up and say a credit was found for this customer. Do you want to apply it? Now, if your dialog box is hiding the amount of the credit, you can move that upward and take a look to see how much the credit is. And you can say yes, or if the customer doesn't want to use the credit, you can say no. So I'm going to say yes. Okay, and now it's going to tell me that the balance is going to be $223.95, and it's going to issue a new credit for that new balance because the original one has been redeemed. This is the new store credit that they have. And there's the amount showing with the date and who it was authorized by. You can give that to them. The original one has been marked as redeemed because they've used it. If we go back to her file, and we can look at her record in the contacts file, and it's going to show me that the original one for the 270 has been redeemed, yes, and the date it was redeemed, and now the balance owing is a new one, and that has not been redeemed. Again, if we go back to the gift certificate file and we go find all, okay, list view, I'm going to be able to see those two down here at the bottom of the list. So we can see Mary's original store credit, which was used, and it was applied to an invoice. And here's the second one that is the balance that she now has available to her, and she can use it. And the same as on the gift certificate or gift card, if I was to go back into this record, continue, and if I was to click on the edit button, it would remove that store credit. And then I would need to go back and say that it has not been redeemed and then put it back in again. Now, the thing about that is that if I did remove this and I put it back in, it would create another third instance of the store credit for this same amount if I re-entered it back in. So then I would need to delete one of them to remove it so that I don't have too many of these in there. So just the tip, do not click on the edit on the invoice screen when it's a store credit, a gift card, or a gift certificate. Okay. If you have used it, and this could be the case, that this customer has decided that she used the gift, the store credit on this and didn't want to because she's saving up for something else or whatever reason it may be, that she doesn't want to use it, you could revoke that and change that by going back in and doing exactly what we did before. And we're going to say, we're going to edit this, or actually we don't even have to edit. What we could do is we could just delete it and say she isn't going to use it, change the payment. We'll go through these steps. We're going to delete it, okay? She's going to pay for this by a different method, saying no, she's not going to use the store credit. She's going to pay for this by Visa. This is done. But now I'm going to go back to the store credits because I need to sort those out. So now for the store credits, I need to go back in and put them back to the way that they were before. So she had the original store credit of $270.80. I can change that amount because it hasn't been redeemed, or I should be able. So I'm going to put that back to the $270.85 that it was. No, it has not been redeemed. And if I go to the second one, I'm going to delete that record because that was not correct. She did not use it. She did not have a balance owing afterward. So try not to do that too many times because you could get yourself confused on them, but do take notes, and you do have that slip of paper and we do have the amount that she originally had on there. The other thing to note is that if a customer is returning a product, and I wanted to mention that in the invoice notes, this is a place where you can make that little note about why the customer returned that product, why they didn't want it any longer. System as well, if you decided to manually give someone a store credit or something, you could create that yourself in here without having to have a refund. That if I wanted to give a store credit to a particular customer, and I'll just give it to Jim Taylor because I know he owes lots in here. Okay, and then I'm going to issue the amount that it's going to be. So I have just manually given him a store credit for some reason or other. If I wanted to track this or document it, I would probably go back to the contact file because you can see all the store credits and things that he has in here. But if I've given him one, I would use the date notes to gave that store credit for, and then whatever that is, for long wait, for problem with molding, for whatever it is, and then identify who is the person who gave the store credit, and under subject you can say issued credit or anything that you want in there. But I would want to keep some track of it to say why you gave that to him, since there isn't any place on this screen to add a note about it, which normally you wouldn't need a note, so that's okay. And then when he's used it, it will be redeemed. Great. Okay, and that's everything that I have for the store credits. Chrissy, is there anything else that, any other questions that people may have?
Yeah, we have a couple more questions that have come in.
Okay.
This one is pertaining to the last question that you were asked. They're confused. How again does the gift card for promotional work again? it automatically creates an invoice. So would she have to pay for it?
Ah, okay. Let's do this. So sometimes you might have preloaded gift cards, and no, you don't necessarily have to pay.
Okay, so I do have a question, another one. Where is the best place to get the
Where's the best place to
any
get?
suggestions?
Oh,
Gift
the
cards.
the gift cards. Okay. We did take a look online, and we found a couple of places that do sell them, and maybe that's one of the things I could put into the email that goes out afterwards, are some links on where you can find pre-printed gift cards that you can have your logo printed on there, and then also the barcode printed onto the back of it. And we'll add some links in there. That's another thing that you might want to do, is just go onto the Framerity Framers Facebook group, because I know people like Kirsty Bennett has a beautiful one that she had printed for her business, and other framers that use Framerity may be able to give you some ideas on where they got theirs printed. Well, thank you everyone for your time, and I hope that you learned something about gift cards, gift certificates, and store credits. So thank you everyone, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye everyone.